Hey, my fellow artists, this is Mari Chan, and welcome back to my art channel. I hope you guys have been having a lovely, doubly day thus far. Actually, I just did a live session earlier on my Don May channel where we talked about a few chapters of Salted Fish Volume 3. That was very, very fun. And then I had to go to work. And during work, I actually decided to do some art. Do not knock me, okay, you guys? It was some easy work that made it accessible for me to do some art. But in that time, I just thought about something very, very interesting. And it's the difference in myself when the camera is on versus when the camera is off. Now, why do I say this? Because just a couple of days ago, I'm going to show you guys, I recorded myself doing some intuitive art. And as I was doing the art, I was like, I don't know what this is. We're going to keep going because, with the things that I do in my life, sometimes my art is more consistent than other times. And so I wasn't really feeling it, but I was like, I'm going to keep going anyway. I wasn't necessarily seeing anything at first, but, I was like, I'm going to keep going. And by the time I finished, I did not like the end result. I looked at some of the footage because I was going to post it, and I was like, I genuinely don't like this. And again, I know I said on another video that I would share things that I maybe necessarily did not like or I felt like were fails, but that's easier said than done. And so then today, doing the same thing, I'm like, okay, let's do some intuitive art because I wanted it to be mixed media, but in the other one, I ended up only doing two things, watercolor and an ink pen. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna try again today and see how things go. And so I just want to show y'all what I did, which if you have looked at my shorts, then you've already seen them. Again, this is my lovely dovely art journal. So I'm gonna show you guys what I did the other day. It was the same day that I did this. No, wait, that's a lie. The same that I did this was this, which was a fun piece of artwork for me that was intuitive and it just was kind of free flow. But the thing I did next was these two. I recorded these two things, and when I finished, I was just like, yeah, no, this isn't it. Like, what is this? And what is that? And I didn't know what to do to make these things better. Mind you, this is my art journal. So it's kind of like whatever, it's fine, which is, why I'm showing you now. I'm just not going to show you the video process of this because I thought it was a doozy, but you are seeing what I did. So today, this is what I did while I was working at my job. I did this. And I was actually very, very proud of what I did for this. Sorry, I'm just zooming in for you all. But for this, I used watercolor first, actually. I made like some random shapes. There was a shape under here. And I used cutouts from a book. I'm sure you can figure out which book I used, even though I left something off. I also used white gouache and an ink pen. So those were the things that I used and the paper. And so I was very, very proud of this. And I was so upset because I did this while I was working and it wasn't being recorded. And I was just like, wow, how was I able to come up with something like this while I wasn't recording? Meanwhile, when I was intentionally recording, but still not really thinking too deeply, then I just made this. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. And so, anyway, with me noticing that difference in myself, I just was like, let me take it easy because it's not like I have not been doing intuitive art for my entire life, not intuitive visual art. My expertise lied more within music. And aside from the musical background that I had, I did a lot of intuitive singing, writing, and all of that stuff. And doing the intuitive art is a muscle that I have to build. Like, I'm not. I'm not that strong yet, in all honesty. And sometimes I make some really great things that just have me like, whoa. And then other times I make some things and it's like, oh. But it's all a part of the process. And so I'm just here to tell you that if you are someone who wants to do intuitive art, because it's not easy, a lot of people think it's easy because you don't have to have skill and you can just throw anything on the paper, and you can, but you have to know how to make it work so it doesn't just look like a big mess or it looks like controlled chaos. It's a muscle we have to exercise. It's something that we have to continually do. And then our intuition will fine tune itself. We will get better at what we're doing, and things will make more sense as we go along, you know? And sometimes it's not even about creating a whole piece or finishing an entire piece. You know, like when I look at this piece of art that I did right here, I just drew a rose randomly, like there was no reference. I just kind of remember what a rose looks like by this point, and then drew some squiggly lines around it, and then decided to watercolor it in a little bit, except for that part right there. Is this the most amazing composition? No, but it was something that I did from the heart. Here's another intuitive piece that I did, which I actually think is more successful. This was drawing from a reference image of myself, but the point is, yeah, doing intuitive art, it's an exploration process. This is something that just you have to give it time. Not everything is going to turn out absolutely amazing the very first time you do it. Some things you're going to think look okay when you first finish, but as you go back to it again and again, you're going to be like, wait, no, this is actually pretty darn awesome. You know, like I just think about here's a piece I did, an intuitive piece that was based on an emotion. There was a piece before this. I'm going to I'm going to grab it really really quickly so you all can see. Okay, so this is my first one, my first art journal. So there was a person who told me some very distressing news, right? It was so distressing. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get this emotion out because I'm distressed for her. And so I made this piece right here, and it was titled When Her Distress Became Mine. And when I first finished this, I was like, I don't know. But then as I looked at it more and more, I was like, I really feel the distress. You know, I was really zoned in, honed in on this. And then I kept going because I was like, we're not done yet. And so I made a bigger piece. And I believe this one was called When Distress Met Hope. And I think this is a lovely piece, me mixing charcoal with watercolor. And then this is When Hope Took Flight. All three intuitive pieces within like 2 days of each other. And it felt really good. And I think these look really good. But sometimes we're going to come out with pieces that maybe look like this. Sometimes we are going to come out with pieces that look like these. What are these? Who knows? But it does not matter. I'm going to keep going and keep pushing, keep trying until I can more consecutively make pieces like this that I feel are absolutely amazing. Make more pieces like this and continue to get better. So I actually thought I was coming on here to paint. I was going to do this introduction and just be like, oh my gosh, look at what I did today. Now I'm going to sit and do some more because I've got nothing else to do today. And instead, I went down this route of encouragement. Really, I'm just trying to encourage myself, but I do hope that this has encouraged you because it was very much needed. Now, I will say the next video I do probably will be whatever it is that I create tonight because I do have, not saying I'll work from this, but I do have another sheet ready. Can you see the shapes? With my shapes already in there, because that's how I started this one. The shapes were bigger and it was only like 3 of them, but I'm ready to do some more. And you know what? Whether it's a flop or not, I'm going to do my best to still show you anyway. All I have to do is decide if I'm going to do it in my art journal or if I'm going to do it on a bigger piece of watercolor paper. So, again, I hope that this has been very encouraging for you. I know that this channel is very, very small for the time being, but it does have a community. And so I really, really would love to see you guys post on the YouTube community so I can see what it is you're working on, whether it's intuitive art, whether it's art inspired from things you've seen in real life, whether you do fan art for your favorite book or show or anything like that, especially since I know some of you have come over from my Donmei channel. Post your art there. But we also have a Discord. I will say that Discord was originally it's a book club, right? So it's surrounded around what my YouTube was on, but we do have an art channel. And if anyone wants to join that, just know that we also have a lot of Don May, but we do have an art channel that you're more than welcome to join. And maybe in the future I will make a separate Discord. I don't know about that yet. But yeah, that's all. I hope you guys have a beautiful day and or night. And I will see you all next time. And as always, 我爱你们.